Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. We appreciate it. Here's a story about somebody I know. Every once in a while, I find a story about somebody I know in the newspaper. This story happened to appear in the Associated Press. Dateline, New York. After 35 years in the business of titillating and offending, pornographer Al Goldstein says his magazine can't compete anymore. The audience is just as large, he says, meaning the audience for porn. But the Internet has transformed the product and its delivery. Just over a month ago, Goldstein stopped publishing Screw magazine. Filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, giving him a chance to cut costs, relaunch the magazine, and refocus attention on his website. Similar pressures are seen throughout the adult publishing field. Bob Guccione's General Media Incorporated, for instance, has also filed for Chapter 11 protection, although the company's trademark Penthouse magazine continues publishing while the company restructures. On Friday, Guccione resigned as CEO of General Media's parent company, Penthouse International. He remained at the helm of the magazine, which has seen circulation decline from nearly 1 million to 565,000 over the past 5 years. Goldstein said circulation woes throughout the field show, and here's what Al Goldstein calls it. He says, "We are an anachronism. We are dinosaurs. We are elephants going to the bone cemetery to die. The delivery system has changed, and we have to change with it if we want to survive." Founded in 1968, Screw was successful in its early years. Ever seen Screw magazine? My dad used to have copies of it stacked up in his closet, underneath some clothes on a shelf somewhere. That's where I first saw it. Its mix of scatological editorials, pornographic pictures, and tongue-in-cheek articles sold as many as 140,000 copies a week, but by last year, sales had dipped to around 30,000. There's even more. Hustler magazine publisher Larry Flint, who says his company has succeeded in the new marketplace, agrees that magazines are a dying breed. From his office, just down the block here in Los Angeles, he said, "This past decade has been very, very bad for men's magazines, and it could become worse. I'm not going to say it's going to become extinct, because some people will always want to feel that magazine in their hands, but it's never going to have the impact it once had." Flint said his company began to diversify over a decade ago and now has a presence on the Internet and in the adult movie industry. "You can see more on cable and satellite today than you could see in what I published in 1974, Flint said. "I honestly think Guccione and Al Goldstein were not aware of what kind of an effect technology was going to have on publishing." Says here, even an industry stalwart like Playboy, which has remained profitable, has seen growing success from its online business, while magazine revenues have lagged. Representatives for Playboy Enterprises Incorporated did not return calls for comment, but in its most recent quarterly results, the company reported that its online business swung to a profit of $474,000. That's it? That's the whole profit for Playboy Enterprises? $474,000? Compared with a loss of $2.2 million in the same period a year ago. Meanwhile, publishing earnings dipped 47% to $1 million because of a decline in advertising revenue. Wow. Despite all this, Goldstein is optimistic he can stage a comeback. Along with a new Internet focus, Goldstein has rented a smaller office, recruited a smaller freelance staff, and enlisted a new distributor. He hopes to have a new issue of Screw on the newsstand soon. And here's an Al Goldstein quote. He says, "It's going to be dirtier and filthier than ever." Al was at my housewarming party 6 years ago. I want to tell you an Al Goldstein quote, an actual quote. Al Goldstein showed up with these two broads, one on each arm. He showed up at my house the night I had my housewarming party. He looks around. He takes one quick look around my place. He says, "Hey, nice place you got here. You got a prenup?" And I did. So there you go. Porn magazines are dinosaurs. You can see this beginning to happen with magazines like Maxim and FHM, Gear, Stuff, Blender, all these mags where the chicks don't actually take their clothes off. They just take some of them off. But they're wearing underwear. And so these magazines can get like superstars or supermodels or whatever to pose for them because they don't have to show nips, show anything. But, the real truth is that porn magazines already are kind of quaint, don't you think? When's the last time you walked into somebody's house and they had a copy of Penthouse lying on the coffee table? Think about it. When's the last time anybody had a coffee table? I mean, it's kind of interesting to think how controversial these magazines were back in the 50s and 60s. And now it's like, you can get better stuff any day on the Internet. And you know what about the Internet? You can get any race, any ethnicity, any kink, any fetish, from any country, any age. I showed these boys the news group of senior citizens in the news. I'm not making this up. Search your Internet news groups. Go to Usenet, search the news groups for alt.binaries, .pictures, I believe it was nudity or nude .senior citizens. Search for senior citizens. I'm telling you. There was a whole news group devoted to people in their 60s, 50s, 70s, whatever. You know. Humping and pumping. Licking and sticking. Telling you. You can find it. But what's great about the Internet, here's the deal, and I've always said this. I don't have the porn gene. I've talked about this before. I'm just not a porn guy. Maybe it's because so many chicks have come into my studio and taken their clothes off over the years. Maybe it's because being on the radio, I've had access to so many hot chicks that opening up a magazine and seeing a chick I'm unlikely to meet, much less have, is just a whole other thing. It's like not that interesting. It's not. Never has been to me. I know that porn is interesting to a lot of guys. But certainly I have surveyed the porn situation online. And why be limited to the 3 chicks who made it through Playboy or Penthouse's screening process this month? When you can get on the Internet and find hundreds of thousands of women, tens of millions of photographs, videos, audio tapes. I mean, it's all on there. MP3s you can get on Kazaa and Grokster and WinMX. You can get on there and you can download like entire porn videos. Why? Why would anybody go down to the magazine stand and buy a copy of a porn mag? I mean, honestly, is there really a reason to go down and buy a copy of Blacktail anymore? And don't you start telling me that black people don't have computers. I don't want to hear it. They have computers. Don't even say that. That would be wrong. The minute it came out of my mouth about Blacktail, I could see some wise ass calling in here and saying they still need that magazine because black people don't know how to use computers. Don't even think about it. Jesus. But what do you think about this? Porn mags going away. Going away. It's all on the Internet now. What do you think about this?
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM.
You're so rageful.
I have never heard this word, by the way, rageful. But, all right, I'll assume your IQ is in the triple digits for the sake of argument.
You've never spoken to a psychotherapist.
You're a psychotherapist, or are you just a psycho?
The Tom Leykis Show.
Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. It's Allison on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Allison. Do you care, dear?
I do. I listen to you every day on my way home.
Thank you so much. I'm doing great.
Great. I just wanted to call because I know exactly what you are talking about. I work for a very famous porn photographer, Suze Randall.
Uh-huh.
And I help run her website. And since the website has gone up 4 years ago, we have done so much less magazine sales than we ever did.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, our website has about 85,000 images on it, 500 different porn stars, adult stars, or whatever. And, you know, it's not that important, the magazines, because I can click, or, you know, the men or the women, whatever, click, and they're right there.
Yeah, and rather than being limited to what's on the pages of the magazine, you can see whatever you want, whenever you want.
Exactly. And it's just, there's so much of big variety on our site and everyone else's site that it's just amazing that any of these magazines are still in business.
Not to mention all the free stuff that's online.
Exactly.
And much of which is stolen from sites like the one you work with.
I know. Well, that's another issue, is something we have to do with copyright infringement, which we enforce pretty vigorously.
Yeah, I imagine that's a full-time job in and of itself.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, it's so much easier to get online. It's anonymous.
Uh-huh.
You know, some people don't like the idea of going down to the newsstand and buying porn, but what's the problem with logging on?
Exactly. You can do it whatever time of the day you want, whoever you want to see, whatever.
Right.
And, hey, I get paid well. It keeps me in business.
There you go.
It keeps me working.
Very good. And what exactly do you do?
I started as working in her office, but now I'm doing a lot more of the website design and whatnot. So, you know, I'm sitting on my computer all day looking at naked women.
Really? So are you numb to it, or do you get hot? Well, what's the
You know what? Sometimes I kind of do, but very rarely. I'm kind of picky about the girls I think that are attractive.
Uh-huh.
But sometimes I do enjoy looking at these.
Out of 30,000, there must be somebody hot.
There are a few girls, and I know some of them in person, and they are actually very nice girls. Some of them.
Some of them.
Yeah.
I didn't want to hear that. I wanted to think they were nasty.
Oh, well, no. I mean, like, nice personality.
Oh,
nice
I see.
Personality.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. But, I mean, I hope that, you know, I don't know. I'm a little nervous.
Well, what are you so nervous about? There you are around all these naked women all the time, and you're nervous talking to me.
I'm talking to you.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
I know. Oh, I see all these naked girls all day, but I don't talk to you every day.
Well,
but I will say, though, that I would hope that I would be up to your par, Tom, because I am 5'8", 105 pounds blonde.
perhaps you should come down here and show us sometime.
Well, you know, Suze keeps me pretty damn busy every day.
I'll bet if you could come down here and mention her website on the air, I'll bet she'd make time.
She probably would. Maybe that's something I should mention to her tomorrow.
Well, you hang on. Dean's going to talk to you about this.
Okay.
All right, you hang on there. Dean will set that up. We'll see if she lives up to my specifications. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Dave on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
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 How you doing?
I'm okay.
Hey, here's my concern. I have a family, and you can't, if you're going to view porn, most of the time the computer is in the main room.
Right.
And that's the great thing about a magazine. You can go in the bathroom, you can go in the closet, you can go anywhere, in the garage. With a computer, unless you have a laptop or, you're kind of stuck. So,
or a color printer. You got to have a color printer.
Well, I mean, even if you're going to view the images online, you got to boot the thing up. You got all these hassles to go through. So, granted, you got the most incredible opportunity to see as much stuff as possible, but it's not very practical, if you just need a quickie.
Well, I think what's going to end up happening is a couple of the biggest names, like Playboy, will stay in business.
Yeah.
But a lot of the lesser titles that are out there are going to fade.
Yeah. The other thing is, though, with a lot of the magazines, I mean, the articles, people say they don't care about the articles, but, you read Penthouse and Hustler even, or definitely.
Come on, name the last article you read in Penthouse. Let's start with Penthouse.
Let's talk about Maxim, though. I mean, I read that.
No, let's talk about Penthouse. You said you read the articles. Name an article.
What about the letters of the month?
Oh, I thought you were reading fact-based material, not fiction.
I don't go there for my political...
oh, you like reading the letters column in Penthouse.
Yeah. But, that's important to a lot of people.
Stuff that never happens to anybody you know and never will happen to you.
Well, granted, that's why you read it. It's a fantasy.
So you never even believed they were real or hoped they were real.
Oh, come on. Although something has to be real. Probably just the people who've happened to have never actually written in because they don't need to.
Yeah.
But, I mean, come on. Sure, magazine subscriptions are down, but, another thing to bring up, I live in the suburbs. If you're in the suburbs, have you ever realized how hard it is to even find porn?
Yeah, because where do you shop for magazines? Walmart? I mean...
magazines you can find at the liquor stores, but what if you want a video? Where can you rent a video? You can't go to Blockbuster, you can't go to Warehouse. Nobody rents it. Netflix doesn't rent them. There's no place to get it where you feel like, you don't feel like a slime ball going into some sleazy shop.
Well, obviously you need to, believe me, there are plenty of websites where you can have DVDs sent to you.
Name a couple of them. I mean, that would be good for your listeners.
Well, to be honest, just go to Yahoo or Google.
Yeah.
Put X-rated DVDs in, and I'm telling you, watch what pops up on your screen.
Huh. Okay.
Believe me.
Because the important thing is you want to make sure that nobody, has your credit card information. No one's going to mess with you. It's all up and up.
Well, the bottom line is I'm sure there are more reputable companies than others, like in any business.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure if you were buying something from Playboy or Hustler's website, you'd be likely to get what you paid for.
Oh, definitely.
So why don't you start there?
Okay. All right.
Good luck. By the way, how I know this, I don't know, Ken. I just don't have the porn gene. I prefer seeing people naked in person. People I might know and could fantasize about myself being with.
Well, some of us have been married for a couple years and like to spice up the things at home.
Right. You can't even fantasize being with your wife anymore.
Well, things happen.
Yeah, I know. I know, Dave. Dave, thanks a lot for the call. More of your telephone calls are coming up.
The Tom Leykis Show. This is the Tom Leykis Show.
From Los Angeles at 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Let's say hello to Ryan on the Tom Leykis Show.
Good morning, Tom, or afternoon. I don't know where I am anymore.
Well, let's not worry about time zones. Our show's on in 5 time zones, and it just, when people hear you say good morning, they go, oh, my God, this show's on tape.
Well, I apologize for that. I just wanted to say, Tom, that you need porn. You need porn magazines no matter what. There's guys out there in the Navy, in Iraq, that need it. I'm sorry. I know I've been there. I'm probably going to go back here soon. I don't know. They're telling me we might.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't have it, what are we going to do? There's nothing. You don't have internet.
I don't think they're all going to go out of business. I think what's going to happen is a certain number of them will go out of business. The ones that are the weakest and the strongest will survive. I think that's what's going to happen.
Well, I don't think the weakest or strongest will stay together. I think all of them will end up combining, really, because Penthouse wants to make money. That's the main goal in porn, is money. That's the only goal.
That's the main goal in every business.
Yes, but if guys don't have the magazines, and especially the married ones, and I know all about that, if you don't have your porn mag, you're not going to be able to fantasize when you're with your wife. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you could also have the Internet to fantasize about. Now, of course, if you're talking about guys who are on a ship and can't get online, I'm with you. I understand.
Yeah, but if you got kids, I mean, just like the last caller was saying about the computers in the main room, you can't be on the Internet looking at porn with a bunch of kids running around. You can't, because you don't want to subject them to that. But if you've got magazines, you can go sit in a bathroom, rub one out, and there you go.
Well, as I say, you'll still have magazines, but you will not go to the newsstand that I go to is Centerfold, which is located on Fairfax Avenue here in Los Angeles.
Oh, I lived in Los Angeles before I joined the Navy, so.
All right, so this is a huge newspaper stand with a huge porn collection. But they don't just have Playboy and Penthouse and Hustler. They've got a lot of the lesser-known publications like 40 Plus and Jugs and Blacktail. These are all going to go under.
But I really don't think so, because there's somebody backing them up, and there's always a guy out there.
Yeah, but if Penthouse had to file for Chapter 11, what do you think's going to happen to the others?
I honestly think that they're just going to stay. They're going to stay the way they are, because porn is always going to be around.
Yeah, but the point is, look, porn may always be around, but you may not have 300 porn magazines. Maybe you'll have 50 or 25 or 10.
Have you ever? I'm just asking. Have you ever been to like Hong Kong or any of
No.
Asian countries?
Nope.
If you were to see how much porn is in the middle of the street, walking around in these countries, you'd be flabbergasted.
How many people own computers in these countries?
Well, the computers in these countries are even worse. It's even worse there.
Right, but how many people actually own computers? By percentage compared to the United States.
When I was in the house, there was this one couple. They took us in. It was like a little thing they did.
Right.
The ship did, and they brought us in the house. And what it does is that they give you a real authentic Japanese meal and all that. They had 4 computers in one house, and it was probably no bigger than a 3-bedroom apartment.
You realize we also have, Showtime, which late at night has like softcore porn. We've got all these pay-per-view channels, all these porn channels at home. There's a bunch of them. I mean, we have more ways to get porn in this country. It's unbelievable.
There's more ways to get porn than there is in education nowadays. I agree with that on the Internet. But if you got small kids, you're a married man, and you want to look at a porn, you don't want to sit there and look over your shoulder with, afraid your kids are going to see it. You want to grab a magazine.
I understand all this, but if the magazines can't make money, I mean, Playboy magazine's profit for one quarter was $400,000.
Jeez.
I mean, if they can't make money, what do you think is going to happen?
They'll probably go under. You're absolutely right, Tom. I mean, you haven't been wrong about a lot in the 3 years I've listened to you, but here's another one you're not wrong about. They'll go under, but porn mags will always be around, and I think...
Well, there just won't be the selection and variety you have now.
Yeah, that's a good thing that I get to...
It's just like, when Walmart comes to town. Lots of the smaller stores go out of business.
True.
Now the Internet is going to swallow up a lot of these magazines.
Yes, but then again, those magazines that are getting swallowed up, what they're going to revert to is going onto the Internet. And then guys like me are going to be stuck looking at, Playboy, and then we got to go, oh, God, we got to flip through 400-500 pages of frickin' articles when we want to get to the good stuff.
Yep. And you never read those articles, did you?
Oh, hell no.
Hell no.
1-800-5800-TOM. The Tom Leykis Show.
The Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. It's Stuart on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom.
Hey.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Thank you.
I love your show. I respect you a lot. Don't always agree with you, but you got to respect you. It's a great subject. I think you're right. I think you're spot on. I think that, with the Internet and the multimedia aspect of it, you're going to find a lot of the small mom-and-pop porn shops are going to go out of town. It's just the, evolution of business.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think the ones that maybe adopt technology and get with it, like you said, I guess, what was it, Blacktail or Jugs, if they can, harness that technology and embrace the multimedia, they're going to be around.
Well, that's what Hustler and Playboy have done. They've got very elaborate websites, and they've been preparing for this for a while. And Playboy also not only has the Playboy channel, they own the Spice channel and a bunch of other pay-per-view channels that are available on satellite and digital cable. And they've been preparing for this day. So you have to give them credit that they've been aware of this technology for a long time. And it's taken a while for the effects to be felt, but they're feeling them, obviously.
absolutely. And I think, you know, I was surprised what you said. What was it, $400-something thousand net profit for Playboy Enterprises?
In the last quarter, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, with the small mom and pops, if they really go out and you know, harness some of the newer technologies that are out there, they may be able to compete. But you're going to see consolidation of the industry. It's just kind of the nature of the beast.
No doubt in my mind, Stuart. Thank you for the call. 1-800-5800-TOM. This is Ryan on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Ryan.
You know, I think you might be forgetting America's sizable prison population, because these guys have no access to the Internet. And I used to be a prison guard, and every day you're searching cells as a prison guard. And these guys have extensive magazine collections. And
most people would be surprised to know that's allowed.
Oh, yeah. Well, they have a lot of prisons have weird rules about it, but most prisons will allow it.
Well, my fear is that if these magazines go out of business, they'll be spending taxpayer money to publish porno magazines and put them in prisons.
You never know. But, yeah, some of these magazines make most of their money just on prisoners subscribing to it. And there are some of these magazines that just defy logic. Some stuff, especially the old ones, like Over 50 or the Pregnant.
Yeah, what is that all about? There's some weird fetish magazines. I'll tell you what.
Who wants to see pregnant women?
There are guys, believe me, I've met guys like that who are into that. And that whole MILF phenomenon now.
Man, no thanks.
By the way, I'm just curious, when you're on the Internet and you're on a MILF website, how do you know these women actually are mothers of anybody? I get the feeling the same models are on every website. One website, they're a MILF. One website, they're barely legal.
They're hot Latinas.
They're hot Latinas. They're Asian. They're like whatever. They're on every website.
Well, I think most guys that patronize those websites don't really care anyway, right? They just like the idea of it. It's a fantasy of it.
That's right. Lie to me. They don't care.
Hey, blow me up, Tom.
Here you go, Ryan. 1-800-5800-TOM. It's Debbie on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey there.
Hey there.
How's it going?
Pretty good, Debbie.
Good. Hey, I got to tell you, even though I agree with you on, like, the business side of the whole magazines versus the Internet, and I did read that article today, you know, on the Chapter 11, one of that the Screw magazine was dealing with and everything else like that. But, you know, I was sitting there thinking, I don't know. My husband and I use the magazines and what we do as far as sharing stories, reading stories to each other. And, you know, that's just not going to happen in front of our computer. It's just not, you know. And I guess, I mean, like you said, I know that they're not all going to go away, but they place a very high, level of prioritization in our household anyway.
Well, I'll tell you what though, if I were a porn guy,
yeah,
I'd definitely be on the Internet looking. I've seen it on the Internet. I've seen it in magazines.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. No,
the selection on the Internet is so much better.
The variety, and I haven't been there. That's just not a place I can go. I'm a really open-minded person, and obviously, but it's like, I don't know. That's just maybe too real. You know, we use
too real
fantasy and that sort of thing. But it's
for a guy, it can never be too real.
Yeah, okay, you're right. But I'm giving it just from the gal's point of view.
Right, because guys, you know, are the prime consumers.
Yeah, you're right.
Of pornography
and
poon.
Maybe I'm part of a minority here. I don't know. Because, you know, that's like I said. Well, I mean, you know, if we're taking care of it when the other person's not around, we'll say, hey, let me tell you about the story I read today, you know, and or, you know, like I said, read each other's stories and just stuff like that. So that's just not something that can be replaced, at least in my household, you know, on the Internet. Although, like I said, from the business point of view, I'm not surprised that any of this hasn't happened earlier. I can't believe that there's as many of them that have sustained this long.
Exactly.
So, anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So they'll always be in my house.
Well, Debbie,
they'll always have a place in my closet.
There we go. But they're going to be antique soon. Just keep that in mind. Monica on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi. How are you doing?
Great.
Well, I just wanted to comment on the fact about the web design. I used to do porn websites, and my thing is that I totally see print dying.
Print of all kinds, or just print of porn mags?
Well, I mean, obviously you've got your, Larry Flint, you've got, Hugh Hefner. I don't see those going away quite as soon, but all your, like, Ass Parade, Blacktail, Jugs, I don't see it, I see those...
Ass Parade. I haven't seen Ass Parade in a while.
It's a niche type.
Oh, that's a niche, all right.
Well, let me tell you, it's quite a niche. But here's the deal is that, see, for every magazine that existed, there's 100 porn sites for each one, and they're the ones that are truly making money out there. That's the way to go with the internet industry these days. You really have to cater a specific need. I know of one guy in the city. I live in Baltimore. I know of one guy who reads porn magazines still, and he's like, he's a total loser. He's unemployed, and he's a freak. He walks around naked. It's like, ugh. So, I mean, I think that it's going to transition completely to the internet. That's what I see.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And are you into porn yourself?
Oh, yeah.
You are?
Oh, yeah.
How into it are you?
Well, here's the deal. My ex-boyfriend and I used to have about 5 or 6 porn sites, and we catered it to kind of what we liked, a.k.a. Some of the rear pleasures.
Rear pleasures. So no wonder you were familiar with Ass Parade. Is there an assparade.com, I wonder?
No, that's not us, although, we're close. We've got some domains out there.
So you're all about the ass.
Oh, yeah.
And is it women's asses, men's asses? Whose asses are you into?
Oh, it's strictly women. See, and this is the thing, like, I always had a 3-way fantasy, but, like, I never... It's like the guys, I want to be with 2 guys, but they can never do anything to each other. They have to only, like, pleasure me. That's the whole thing.
Well, that's always the fantasy, isn't it?
Pretty much. But I'm digressing. I'm sorry.
Except women who watch Will and Grace. I think they probably wouldn't mind if the 2 guys touched each other.
But I just wanted to comment on that. I think that's where the future lies. I mean, just from what we learned on our little outage onto the Internet as far as making money with porn, I think that...
Future lies on someone's ass.
Well, and that in Russian women.
What is it about Russian women, for that matter?
I'll tell you. We worked with a photographer in Phoenix, Arizona, and he made his living off of importing Russian women. He'd literally go to Russia every year and bring back hot chicks and photograph them.
It's kind of like hockey games. In hockey, they're doing the same thing. You can get cheap labor over there in Russia.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
You know the definitions of the word slut and the word bitch, right?
No.
A slut is anyone who's had more sex than I've had. You know what a bitch is?
What's that?
A bitch is a slut who'll sleep with everybody but me.
The Tom Leykis Show.
The Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. Thank you for tuning in. Porn magazines filing for bankruptcy protection. Penthouse and Screw Magazine have both filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection because guys are getting their porn from the Internet. Liz on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Liz.
How you doing?
Do you care?
Yes.
I'm doing great.
Good. So my husband and I have a site, and we have about 25 to 30 girls on the site besides myself. And our first year, we made over $125,000.
And how much do you spend on hiring these girls?
A small percentage.
Really? So that was after expenses? You cleared $125,000 on a website?
Pretty close to that.
And this is like a little mom and pop type business. This is not a big company or anything.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
And so how many pictures are on your site? If a guy clicked into your site, how many pictures are there?
Oh, thousands.
Thousands?
Thousands, yeah.
How can people even tell one website from another anymore? There's so much porn on the Internet. How do you make your site stand out from other websites?
Well, my husband is an incredible photographer, and so, of course, the photos being great is one, and he's very creative, and it's a funny and very classy site, and so...
Were you in the porn business before you had a website?
No.
So that's when you started posing?
Uh-huh.
Wow. Unbelievable. And now you're a little mini porn star.
Well, I don't like to think that, but I guess.
And when Screw and Penthouse go out of business,
we'll just get more.
More business for you. All right, Liz, thank you very much for the call. I appreciate it. Our email address is my name. It's TomAnt. BlowMeUpTom.com.
The Tom Leykis Show.